Welcome to your full body workout, volume number 5. I'm excited for us to work out today. What do you need for today's training session? You do need a bottle of water, a yoga mat for the floor, and make sure you have plenty of space to move around today. Also, feel free to grab a sweat towel. Don't forget to put your music on in the background so you can create the tempo and your pace for our training session today. So let's start first with our warm-up. As you know, I do follow along with our written plan on the floor here in front of me, so you will see me looking down to make sure we stay on track. So let's jump into it. So let's start with our first warm-up exercise, which is a full body touchdown. Well, actually, a squat to calf raise. And this is why I have my sheet. So we're gonna do a squat and go up into a calf raise. So what I want you to focus on doing is sitting your hips back, rolling your shoulders back, pushing your chest forward, and go ahead and start this exercise out. If you know your movement, you're coming down and then you're coming to your tippy toes. We're looking for 10 reps, warming up our hips, knees, and our upper body. And rest. Our next exercise or our next warm-up we have is jumping jacks with high knees. What we're going to do for this one, we're going to mimic a jumping jack. So what I want you to do is bring your arms out like you're doing a jumping jack with your knees coming up towards your chest. Bring your foot to the floor, bring your hands down, and then repeat on the opposite leg. And rest. Third stretch we have is a side lunge or a lateral lunge. And we're going to be shifting side to side. So I want you to spread your feet wide, focus on shifting your hips to one side and shifting it to the opposite side. If you struggle with issues with your knees or hips, keep your movement high. So you don't want to go too low. Just think about bending at your knee and just rocking side to side. And we're going to do this one for 10 reps. Going back to the top for one more round of our warm-up, and then we'll start our workout. Starting with squats to calf raise. Our last exercise or last warm-up is side lunges. and rest. So the gains begin. At this point, you should have everything you need at your floor right now, and go ahead and grab your last few minute items. Turn the music up a little extra. Today is going to be a good challenge for us to help us get results with weight loss and strength training. So our first round is round or circuit number 1. Our first exercise we have is touchdowns. This movement is similar to a squat combined with a reaching or a touchdown to the floor. Let's start off with how to do this exercise. If you know this movement, touchdowns, go ahead and start now. So how to do a touchdown. You're gonna bring your weights to your shoulders, step one leg out, reach your weight to the floor, bring it back to your shoulders, and move the opposite leg out to the side. Out with your right, together, out with your left, together. You should still be doing this exercise starting now. Make sure you sit your hips back, keep your shoulders back and chest up, and get your hips as low as you can, dropping to that opposite leg. Keep this going until I say time. And time. Exercise number 1. Now let's jump right into exercise number 2 now that our heart rate is up. Exercise number 2 is alternating high knees with our arms extended up. This exercise is going to help you learn how to use your core and control your tummy muscles, your abs, and also build strength within your hips and your upper body as you hold the weight. So it is full body, everything's working. So how to do a high knee with your arms extended up. If you know this exercise, start now. Your arms are extended up above your head and you're bringing one leg up to your chest, holding for 1 Mississippi count, and you're going to pop to your opposite leg. Make sure you keep your core braced and also tuck your hips underneath you to a crunch-like motion to feel and target the muscles of the stomach. And rest. So your arms should be tired after that one. And also, if you're doing this correctly, you should feel your abs. So do you feel your core right now? So if you don't, the next round, let's tighten up our movement. Let's go into our third exercise, which is dumbbell side bends. This is all about attacking our outside obliques, which is the outer portion of our core, which is our abdominals. So what we want to do is grab our weights. That's your first step. How to perform a side bend. Grab your weights, bring them by your side, spread your feet to hip distance, slightly bend at the knee, and think about the weight pulling you down to one side, coming up, pulling you down to the opposite side. You want to feel the muscles targeted around what most women say the love handles. We want to think about around that area to work the muscles in that target area. We're going to keep this going until I say time. If you struggle with side bends, I'm going to throw in a tip before we go into our next round. Focus on bringing your hands up without the weights and just focus on more milder movements here if you struggle with any issues when it comes to your lower back. And rest. So you just conquered round number 1. As you know, we have 2 rounds, but at this point, you're going to take a 30-second break to stretch, turn up the music a little bit, grab some water, whatever you need to do, and we're going to start back in about 20 seconds. You can follow me into a light stretch as we get ready to start back. And let's get it. We got our second round coming up, starting with our first move, which is our touchdowns. Grab your weights. For this second round, if you can advance it, you're going to jump both feet out and tap down together and down together. Time starts now. So for your pro tips, when it comes to doing a touchdown, these are your tips. You want to make sure that you use control when you do a touchdown. If you become sloppy with this movement, you will find yourself losing your pace and also feeling your back more than your legs. So what does it mean to not be sloppy? That means you want to make sure that you're using good posture. We want to make sure we have quality over quantity any day. So as we touch down, we're thinking about a basic squat. We're bending at our knee, we're bringing our hips down, just like our tutorials in our database library. We're bringing our hips down, bringing the weight back up. Like so. Your second tip is don't forget the power of your core, your abs. And I promise you, you have abs too. We just want to activate them and get them stronger. So brace your core like you're about to sneeze. I need 10 more seconds. Make sure you're bringing those hips down. 5. And rest. This second round is more challenging. So we're going to step up to the plate and go into our second exercise. Our second exercise is our alternating high knees with your arms above your head. The time starts now. Here's your pro tip when it comes to doing high knees with your arms extended above your head with a weight or any type of resistance. You want to make sure that you have a slight bend at your elbow. You don't have to lock your arms out like this. You're welcome to bend at the elbow. Number 2 is to hold for a second to a 2-second pause as you bring that knee up. Why? This is going to give you more time under tension with this exercise, which is basically making your muscles work a little longer, which in returns allow you to burn fat and really amp up that metabolism over time. So we're looking for 10 more seconds to keep this movement going. And rest and breathe. Are you ready for the last exercise? Yep, let's get it. So our last exercise we have is our dumbbell side bends. Remember, this is all about attacking the waistline. Your weights are by your side, and you're going to start now with bending side to side. Here is your tip for doing a dumbbell side bend. Focus on really using good mobility as you reach to the side. So if you really think about your movement, you probably can go a little farther than you might give yourself credit. So really reach your dumbbell towards the floor and then again, reach on that other side, all right? Let's keep this going for 15 seconds. Think about your core in this exercise. So if you're doing a movement like a crunch on the floor, we talk about tucking our hips to activate our core. I want you to do that as you're doing your side bends. If you leave this tip out, you're not going to feel like you're working anything. We're looking for 8 more seconds. And rest. 30-second recovery. Let's get ready for our second round coming up in 30 seconds. Join me for our active rest. So we're going to keep our body moving. You can do a slight low impact jog, barely picking your feet up off the floor, or you're welcome to kind of shift like a boxer shuffle side to side. Three, two, and here we go. Second round or second circuit, we're focusing on legs and shoulders. We're going to do a squat to a forward raise. How to perform a squat to forward raise. Spread your feet hip distance. Push your hips out, sucking your tummy. Chest up. Lower back slightly arch. If you know this exercise, go ahead and start. We want to come down to a squat, reaching our weights to the floor. Come up, lift, lift. Keep this going till I say time. Remember, your arms only come to shoulder level. And weights by your side. Don't drop those weights quite yet. Holding your weights throughout the whole workout really teaches you and challenges your body to endure and build endurance. So keep those weights in your hands. We're going to go into our next exercise. We have our single leg stands. With this one, we are going to perform a shoulder press. So grab your weights. How to perform a single leg stand, which is standing on one leg, combined with a shoulder press. This is a compound movement. Grab your weights. Bring one leg out, let it hover above the floor. If you need to touch your heel down for balance, you can, but challenge yourself to bring the leg up. Your leg is straight. Your stationary leg or balanced leg has a slight bend. Weights come to your shoulder, elbows come out, and we push up, extending through our shoulders. During this movement, and you should go ahead and start your exercise right now. During this movement, you should be again bracing your core. Every single movement, we're bracing our core. Also focus on squeezing the muscles in the legs. Fight for that balance. Switch legs. And rest. If you felt your leg on that one, your legs more than your upper body, that's okay. Your legs are your stabilizing muscle groups, so you should feel your legs and your upper body. Our next exercise we have is our squats in and out. With this one, we just want to have our weights in between our feet for this exercise. How to do a squat doing lateral movements in and out. You're going to hold your weights with your feet together. You're going to step out, come back in. Big step out and come back in and repeat. Follow your basic fundamentals with your squat. Feet hip distance. Slight arch in the lower back. Tummy sucked in. Shoulders, chest out. Step out. Together. Step out. Together. Keep that exercise going. And rest and breathe. All right, so from there, we're gonna go into a quick 30-second cool down. Heart rate should be up, body temperature should be up, but we should still be having gas in the tank to finish this lap, okay? So we're getting ready for a break for about 20 more seconds. Go ahead and join me for an active rest. We're gonna keep our body moving. And let's dominate round number 2. Are you ready? Let's get it. So first exercise we have is our squat to standing forward raise. Now we're going to talk about our pro tips. The exercise for your squat to forward raise starts now. So let's go. Your pro tip on how to do a squat with a forward raise. Your first pro tip is to not lift heavy. I would suggest a set of 5s. You might even need a set of 2s, 5s, or a set of 8. You don't need heavy weight on this one because it's all about muscle endurance. We're not going to focus on strenuous heavy weightlifting in this movement. Number 2 is making sure that you're not allowing your back to round. I call this the hunchback of Notre Dame, where you round your spine the entire way through. And all you're going to do is aggravate your back. And we don't want that, okay? So make sure you're always pushing the girls forward, all right? We're looking for about 5 more reps. And your final pro tip is keep it controlled. Make sure you're bringing the weights up, stick it, bring it down. Avoid excessive swinging. Let's do 3 more for brownie points. Here we go. And 1, and rest. Your next exercise you're going to go into is your squats, your single leg, getting ahead of myself, single leg stands, and we have shoulder press with this exercise. This is a great one for abs. Go ahead and start your exercise out. Left leg up front, follow my lead, elbows out, and press. Here's your pro tip for a single leg stand. Combine it with a shoulder press. With this exercise, you want to make sure that you don't cheat yourself with arm mobility and range of motion. So what does that mean? When you're doing your movement, you need to make sure that you are extending almost to the point before you lock out your elbows. Control that weight, elbows coming down a little bit past shoulder, and then back up. Avoid this. Choppy movements, really stretch out your muscles. We're looking for 3 more reps. Switch legs. You're coaching on this final countdown. If you can, bring that foot completely off the floor. If you're resting it right now, challenge yourself for 5 more reps. and break. Third exercise, we're jumping right into it. We have in and out squats. Our weights are in front of us, our feet are together. We're stepping out together. Start this exercise with in and out squats starting now. Here's your pro tip when performing a lateral side, or I would say in and out squats is what I like to call them, but you're pretty much just doing a side step. Many names for this one, but with this exercise, you want to make sure that you're reaching your weights to the floor by using the movement through your hips and your knees. Avoid moving through your back. This is what it looks like to do a movement through your back. You're shifting your back to the floor or your chest to the floor. So see how I'm reaching like this instead of using my hips to reach. We're looking for 5 more reps. And 30-second recovery. So you are getting ready to approach your third circuit, which is our final circuit. We always do about 3 circuits. Third circuit has another 3 movements for 10 rounds. I'm sorry, not 10 rounds. That's a lot. For 2 rounds. And then we are wrapping up. You have about 15 more seconds of a break. Go ahead and grab your weights and let's knock out and dominate this final circuit. So we're gonna have our weights in our hand. Again, you do need lightweight. If you don't have lightweight, feel free to do this with just your body weight or 1 dumbbell holding in your hand. To do a Frankenstein with your dumbbell, you're going to lift 1 leg, thinking as if you have 2 weights in your hand. This is gonna be your tips. You're gonna reach 1 leg out, which is your left, and reach the opposite hand towards that with your dumbbell. Then you're gonna place that foot back on the floor for balance and switch sides. Notice I am rounding my back to a crunch-like position. So I'm really tucking my hips under and I'm crunching forward to feel my abs. This movement starts now, so go ahead and start it out. And break. Second exercise we have is a lunge, a static movement, which I've taught you ladies in the previous workouts. When we do static movements, we're holding that exercise for a certain amount of time. We are adding in our biceps. Go ahead and start your movement starting now. For your coaching, to do a static lunge with a bicep curl, go ahead and start with your feet together. Take a big step out, balancing your body on your front and back leg. Bring that knee to the floor and bring your palms open. Curl, squeezing your elbows by your side, and release with control on the way down. Make sure you're distributing your weight to that front leg, not your back leg. This is something I see a lot. Push through your front leg, push through your hips and your foot. Switch legs. And break. Last exercise of this circuit, and we're almost to the end of this race. We have a static squat with our arms extended out. You do need to have 1 dumbbell in front of you. So you're grabbing 1 dumbbell. We're gonna go down to that squat. Time starts now. How to do a static squat with an extension of your upper body or extension of your arms. Spread your feet to hip distance. Pop the hips back. We call this a posterior pelvic tilt. Brace the core. Bring your shoulders back. Sit into that squat. Reach your arms out. Slightly bend at your elbow. And hold. Break. Last round. Last round. You have 30 seconds and counting down of a rest. We're going to keep our break active. So we are going to move a little bit, grab some water. If you're new to our program, welcome. But I do want you to break and actually get you some water. As you build up, you're going to be able to flow through these workouts. And go. Starting with our Frankensteins with our dumbbells in our hands. Your pro tip for doing a Frankenstein with weights, which is going to be your dumbbells, is to make sure that you are doing a crunching movement as you extend forward towards your foot. So again, if you leave your hips back, you're going to notice you're not feeling your abs as much. And this is an ab workout plus legs as well. So please do tuck your hips underneath you. And 3, reach as far as you can. If you find yourself struggling with this movement, maybe you're tight as you kick, just aim towards your knee. You're welcome to bring your knee up and reach over your knee. We're looking for 10 more seconds. And break. We're going to jump right into our next one. I'm really challenging your endurance today. So we're going to really be pushed in this workout. We're getting into a lunge with our left leg in front. Go into your bicep curls starting now. Hold this movement. Your pro tip for a lunge, including your biceps in the mix. So we're doing a lunge with a bicep curl compound movement. Make sure your hips are tucked underneath you as you do this one. Avoid being in your lunge with your hips pushed back. You want to tuck your hips and allow the contraction or the stabilization by your lower body to help you kind of keep that balance. Number 2 for your pro tips is don't round forward. So keep your chest up, shoulders roll back. 3 more reps. Switch legs. Last pro tip, or another pro tip for doing a static lunge with bicep curl. If you struggle with lunges, I want you just to keep your legs straight and just focus on keeping your feet apart without bending and performing your exercise. 5 more reps. Last movement, we have a squat to a chest press and go. You're coaching for this exercise. If a deep squat is a challenge for you right now, I want you to aim for more of a standing movement with a slight bend. Still focus on using your core and pushing that weight out and hold it for 10 seconds. And break. Good job on dominating today's workout. Hopefully you notice a difference in your progression. Maybe you're able to go through the full workout without as many breaks and you're not as winded. Let's cool down. We're going to go into our stretches, which is a hip flexor stretch, bringing one leg back. Notice I'm on my tippy toes and I'm going to just bring my arms up and reach back and switch. Next stretch we have is our calf raises. So for this one, we're coming to our tippy toes, stretching out the muscles of our calves, and also making sure we keep good mobility within our ankles. And rest. Our last stretch is a toe touch. So we're bringing our feet together. Keep your legs straight as you can. With this stretch, you can round your back and hold. And break. So thank you for joining me for your volume number 5 full body workout. Remember, do your check-ins. Your check-ins are at the 1st or the 15th of every month. 1 check-in per month, depending on your program. If you have any questions or any concerns, or if you want to give me a testimonial, whether it's a small victory or a big one, we want to hear from you. So make sure you email me at jess@fitslay.com. And I'll see you on the next workout. Bye.